Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all of my baggage droppers around the world, welcome to another episode of the Drop Your Baggage podcast, where we talk to people that are dope, that can give you hope, and show you a technique that can help you cope. I'm your host, the self-talk engineer, Charles Woolfork, and if you are here, right now, please, if you're on a Facebook or YouTube platform, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and let me know how I'm doing. And if you are on a podcast platform, give a brother 5 stars and some feedback as well. Now, today we have a guest like no other today, y'all. This is gonna be fun. Today I have on the show Kamau Akabueze. Now, Kamau is a creativity coach, strategist, collaboration catalyst, and a photographer. Throughout his tenure working with creatives and being a creative, he has worked with brands such as American Express, Jeep, and Nike, Verizon, Microsoft. Hey, you guys get it. He's worked with some big time companies, but now he is doing something that he is passionate about that is big time. And he is the teacher, guide, and founder of the Alien School. And the mission for the school is to uplift the creative spirit for the betterment of the world of turmoil within and the environment of turbulence we thusly experience. But most of all, y'all, he is the father of an incredible 16-year-old that is also a future race car driver. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Kamau Akabueze. What's up, Kamau?
I appreciate that information and then that introduction. The beautiful thing about time is, like, my son was born a race car driver. You know what I mean? He's born a race car driver, and he's just walking into himself, day by day. I think that's what we all are doing day by day, is walking into ourselves, walking into who we are, walking into and around who we want to be, who we are inspired by, who we are challenged by, who we are propelled by. And like all of that, like all that energy around us is really pushing us into who we are. And so, like, he is a race car driver. He was born a race car driver. I just get to see it happen. I get to see the growth and the blossoming kind of happen in real time, like right in front of me. Is so fatherhood is it's so dope.
Hey, I mean, what gravitated him towards being towards cars in general?
Yeah. I mean, so I used to drive very fast. Okay. I used to drive very fast. I knew where I wanted to go. I knew that I had somewhere to be.
Yeah.
And there were just these other things that were in the way of me getting where I needed to be. Sometimes it's a speed limit, sometimes it's traffic, sometimes it's another person, sometimes it's a police officer noting that I might have been driving a bit too fast. But that was like in me, that speed was kind of was in me. He came out the womb wanting to know about every train in the world. Trains were his thing. He could feel that motion. That locomotion was just in him. And throughout his life, he was fascinated by trains, knew what every train in the world, where it ran, what country the trains ran by the age of 3. He could tell you, like, people were giving him Thomas the Tank Engine. He was like, nah, I'm talking about the bullet train, son. Like, get bad. And that was just like that was his speed. And so it carried on through the years. He moved to LA with his mom. Well, his mother moved to LA, and supercars, hypercars. His eyes were like, what? This exists right in front of me. And then at a certain point, he saw an F1 race, probably on YouTube, probably somewhere, that I was like, I wonder what he's over there doing. He was watching the F1 race, and like, his future was written.
Off to the races, literally.
Off to the races, bro. Indeed.
Oh my gosh. So, like, that's how he expresses his creativity then through vehicles, and so that's the thing. Like, he's 16 now. He's about to, does he already have his first whip?
So his first car is coming to him. Like, again, all these things are like coming to us, right? They're just kind of coming to us in our life. But he, at 15, we took him to racing school in New Jersey, where we live.
That's great.
And first day of racing school, he went out there and it was outrageous. In a manual transmission race car, 4-speed, that goes 130 miles an hour.
Yeah.
He was a magic person out
Oh
there.
my gosh. I bet you he felt like he was like finally home. Like this right here is where I belong.
This is it.
Oh,
This is it.
bruh.
He could feel it.
Hmm.
I could see it, and it's amazing to see it and watch it and know it
Yeah. Yeah.
unequivocally. Wow. Whoa.
Just watch. Oh my gosh. The
Yes, sir.
genesis of it and now
Yes,
the
sir.
evolution of it
Yes, sir.
over the
Yes.
time. Dog, that is so fantastic. I'm sure you feel the same way about your students though, too.
I feel that way about my students because they know, we all know what we're capable of.
Hmm. Mm.
We all are well aware of what we are capable of. We know it.
Why do you say that?
I've seen it.
Mm.
I've seen it. Right. I've seen it as I've seen it as a father.
Mm. Hmm.
He knew he wanted to be in that car. He
Yeah.
knew that it was time for him to try it out, to like really try it out. He was
Hmm.
faster than anybody in that school on that day. He was free. He saw his freedom. He knew his skill. He understood his preparation.
Hmm.
And he went out there and he exceeded his own expectation because he
Yeah.
had the vehicle to do it.
Yeah.
He had the vehicle to do it. It wasn't just virtual anymore. He had the vehicle to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's just what each of us need, is the vehicle, right? The vehicle to do what we do best. But we know it because it's just in our bodies. Like there is a certain like level of expression that
Hmm.
each of us have, a vibration, a magnetism, that each of us have,
Hmm.
that really articulates to the world and articulates to ourselves what we're capable of, what we want to do. It's telling us, it's tapping us on the shoulder through the people that we meet,
Hmm.
through the things that we're curious about, through the opportunities that we draw to us in order to express ourselves,
Hmm.
the opportunities that we feel tension around, or the places and spaces that we don't exactly feel comfortable in because we know that it's not exactly the place for us. We're just doing what we need to do in the moment to
Yeah.
get through there.
Hmm.
But we can feel that in our bodies. We can feel that. Now, working with the students who come to the alien school who know that shoulder is being tapped, right? They're ready to understand what's happening. They're ready to understand what the challenges that they're facing,
Hmm.
and they are efforting to understand what it is that they create in the world. And I think that's the biggest gift of the practice of understanding how alien you can feel when you're not doing what you were brought here to do, what you're meant
Hmm.
here to do. There's
Hmm.
like this alienation, this feeling, it's like tightness. It might feel like your clothes, it might feel like your skin, and like all kinds of things are happening in our bodies, to our
Hmm.
bodies,
Hmm.
when we aren't exactly doing what we came here to do.
Hmm.
We've all got unique gifts, and people that are coming to the alien school are kind of like, wait, think I got something. I think I feel something. I know that I can do this. I know that I can do what I'm doing better. I know that this idea is a big idea. I just need someone to help me to understand how I can create the world that can help to create the world that I want to create. And the work that we do is really about understanding what people create in their lives, where
Hmm.
they are, how they got to where they are, what they've created in order to get there, the energy, what the people around them have created in order to get them to the point where they know that there's something ahead for them, that for them to create. They just don't exactly know what it is. And
Yeah,
it's so magic when people understand what they create in this world.
man. You like everybody talks about the hero story and how important that is for the brand, and you are the guide. You are the guide. Everybody, like whether it be, the stories, the Star Wars with Luke and Obi-Wan, or you got, you got the Harry Potter stories, all these different stories, and
Mhm.
you are that guide. You
Yes.
are the person that says, yo, this is the way. Let me guide you from that potential energy. Let's get
Yeah.
it moving into that kinetic energy and let's start making some stardust, baby.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Right. Where else are we from?
Mhm.
Where else are we from? Where else can we scientifically, practically say that we're from other than space?
Mhm.
You know, like,
Like literally. Yeah, exactly.
we're floating around in it. We're
Yeah,
just floating around in it.
yeah.
We are from space. We are the aliens. We
Mhm.
are. We're
Mm.
here on this planet. to do some magic. We're here on this planet to do some magic. This world is magical. It took me so long to realize it, to like come to a realization of the magic of the world, like see it clearly as a creative person, you know, who fashioned my creativity through my career, through my like responsibility as a creative leader and as a part of a creative community, but stepping out into the broader creative community of humanity. That's a huge opportunity. It's a huge opportunity for people.
The biggest. I mean, like working with bigger brands is amazing. You know what I mean? And you know, the things that come with that on the resume. However, working with the students it is different.
It is very, very different.
Totally different because you see the exact product of what you help this person manifest out of the potential that they saw in themselves. Like I asked that question earlier because I was a middle school teacher and not everyone saw that potential in themselves, but you in this school is like for those who are ready. Like I am ready to take myself to that next level. And therefore it's like, yo, like they see it, you see it. Now, what can we cultivate together so you can have the skills necessary to always bring that creativity out of you?
Yes. And that can happen at any age. That's the beautiful part of it.
Yes.
That's the beautiful part. You know it. You've been in the room with those kids where you're like, I see you. I see you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And it's so powerful when you see a kid who like has a dream or you can see the dream in them and it's just expressing itself.
It's the best feeling because like it is because it's like, oh man, it's like when I was a kid and you get the excitement of lighting that firework. You're like, oh, like, all right. And you move away, you just let it happen. You let it happen. So like, all right, let's go. So let's go back in order to move forward because this is like, I want to make sure that people know like this is that first venture that you said you felt like there is no turning back. This is right here. I mean, this may be the alien school, but this is how you're most grounded here on Earth. You know what I mean? So like, how did you start expressing your creativity at a earlier age? Like, when did you feel like, yo, this is me right here? That is the creative side is all me.
I didn't know what it was at the time. Right. I didn't know what it was at the time. I knew that I enjoyed drawing, but I never really pursued graphic design. I knew that I really loved the video game industry. So in the late 80s, early 90s, you know, my mother was a teacher as well, right? So naturally, I moved into this role. But, you know, she would get access to the things that we needed, right? And so we had the Apple IIe computer in the house. You know, we had like that original box that you see where people are like, oh man, what the original Apple what? I had it. The meme was in front of me and I was sitting there, you know, just kind of playing a few games. I don't even remember what it was, but it just took me into a different world. I just knew there was a different world to play, a different world to create. And the universe inside of there felt really, really big, like huge. The worlds that could be created were just massive. And I was playing like John Madden football, you know, on the Apple IIe, and then transitioned from there to, I think we had like a Nintendo or a Sega Genesis, or we had those things kind of along the way. I think my mom like knew to stoke that nerdiness in me, and that video games were like my world. But that's where I would create, right? My creativity was all in the imagination. I have access to an incredible imaginarium. And that incredible imaginarium can take me so many places when I am using it to really imagine possibilities. You know, I didn't know this then. This is just me looking back on me then and knowing what I'm capable of now. And understanding that imaginarium was the place where my mind could be. I could be, you know, a track star. You know, I could be just this little Italian dude running around collecting mushrooms trying to save princesses. I could be an incredible like football player. I could be all these different characters in these worlds. It was amazing to be able to be in these worlds and imagine even at that level the possibilities and feel the freedom and feel like the energy of accomplishment and achievement and like, you know, knocking down levels. It was dope. It was dope. And so that's when I knew what I wanted to do at the time, which was to make video games. That was for certain.
Wow.
Now, I was also not a great student. And so I wasn't building up the confidence in my mother and in those around me that I had that level of success and achievement available to me, because the grades were telling me something different.
Right.
At the same time, if they were looking at the grades, I was looking around classrooms like, what are we doing? Why are we here?
Right.
What is this? What? Huh? I guess this is what we do.
Right.
And I'm sure you've had students like that.
Yeah.
Like students in the classroom that are just kind of like, I'm just here, bro. Like we could do this math thing, we could do whatever, but I'm kind of just here.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I was throughout all of my schooling, until I got into a point of free creativity again, when I got my first internship in music marketing. And it was open world. It was kind of like, you can take this music that nobody has, and you can market it any way that you want on the campuses of southeastern US. I was in North Carolina at the time.
Dang.
And it was open world again.
Yeah.
Like no limits. No limits. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
This part I can do. Did you give me like free world creativity?
Yeah.
Oh. Right?
Yeah.
So then I became the video game character. I was like, now I know what to do in this world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me about that first adventure that you had. Do you remember?
So it was actually, and I got to give a big shout to my good brother, also named Kamau, who when I moved out to North Carolina for school, I moved because he was there. When I say I moved down to North Carolina for school, I was pretending to go to college.
I figured.
Yeah. I was pretending to go to college. Clearly.
Yeah.
But my man was down there, and we reconnected in a beautiful way. Our mothers have reconnected us. And we've got this amazing journey. That's a whole other show. Okay. We reconnected, and we just are great creative partners in general. He can spark an idea and I can just, And so one of the first albums that I was there to promote was a Tribe Called Quest album called The Love Movement.
Yeah.
And I was,
oh wow.
Yeah. And I was am a huge fan of that band. Huge fan. Yeah. So when I learned that part of the job was I get to meet these gentlemen, I get to take them around to college campuses and promote their art. Like, huh? What are you talking about? I guess I could do that. I guess I could do that.
I guess I could do that. That's the most chill answer you could have probably gave, yeah.
I guess I could do that.
Guess I could do that.
So the first album, the first track was called Once Again. And it was exciting because I didn't exactly know how to feel about the music at the time. I just kind of got it into my system. And what Kamau and I connected on was that once again idea that the revolutions of life, right? This is something that we can come back to, but the revolutions of life. And so what we did was created this promotion on the college campuses throughout the Southeast, where Q-Tip's wallet was lost once again somewhere on your campus. I left my wallet in El Segundo once again. Right, just put them together. Famous track. I left my wallet in El Segundo. That's just always vibrating in the body. And so we just made that connection, and I just ran with it and just basically gave clues. Gave clues throughout college radio, and I think some wild postings on campus that this wallet was lost, and it had tickets to the tour that they were performing in, as well as some dollars and a whole little thing just all sitting in the wallet. Okay. That was it. I knew that I could do this. I knew what I could do, right? Because I could see the energy. I could see the frenzy. I could see what people were doing on campus. I could see the curiosity. They didn't know it was me.
Right. So
I got to be in my nerdy anonymity as well, because nobody would have thought that I was the person running this promotion. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And it just taught me about the freedom of creativity, those connections, those sparks that happen in our mind are actually valuable when you take them and run with them creatively.
Yes.
Like, what do you do with those sparks?
Yes.
Is that next step. And when you've got a vehicle, I had a vehicle, which was the internship.
Mm-hmm.
So that vehicle gave me the opportunity to apply what I knew into this experience. And it was magic from there. Just lit off a whole career.
Mm-hmm.
25 years I spent in advertising and marketing, inspired by that first gig and the freedom to create.
Super dope. Your first too. Yeah, yo, it
Very
wasn't.
first thing.
Hey, with a trajectory like that, cause hey, with a trajectory like that, you can't go nowhere but up from there.
Straight out the bag, and like fully unexpected. Again, I did not know what I wanted to do at this point because I was so confused in my experience, right? I didn't have great guidance counselors necessarily in high school, and my family was kind of like, just get a job. Right. I worked at a hotel for a little bit, didn't really feel it. I did what I was doing to pay the bills, but it just didn't feel progressive. Like I was adding anything to anything. I was just paying bills. When I got down to North Carolina, it felt like I was at least a part of a community of people who were trying some new things. And were expressing themselves in some really, really cool ways. I met people who were just living as who they were and expressing themselves as who they were. My buddy Kamau, best friend for, all those years, he was cooking at the time. He had a kitchen called Kamau's Kitchen, which was dope. And he made strawberry bean pies, bro.
Oh,
strawberry bean pies.
Strawberry
like, you just whip them up in this little kitchen. Yes. Oh my goodness, brother. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
My man Umar, he was hosting these poetry and kind of like music circles at his home, at his apartment. This is all in college. And I just got to see people creating like just raw expression.
Yeah.
In beautiful ways, bringing people together, and those kind of drum beats, from an individual's pure creative heart, and seeing what that would draw around it was really, really magic. And so I always kind of took that into what I do. I took that into how I lead and guide, because you need to see and feel your own potential. You need to know what you can do when you're free of, some of the barriers that we create around ourselves. And at that age, when you know what you want to do and you've got a space to create, it's just freedom, because like, what do I do with this space?
Yeah. I
don't have to fill it up with furniture. What do I do with this space?
That's like so much room for activities. You know what I mean? Shout out to Step Brother. When did you feel like you could be that true authentic, or that you could live that true authentic expression as well? Now? Ooh,
no. I didn't feel it then.
All right. So you worked in corporate America, apparently.
Yeah, I had that internship. That internship led to a job in music. I went on to get guided into a career in public relations. So I started off in public relations for about 4 or 5 years. Did some amazing things there. I'm so blessed with some of the experience and learnings and people that I've met there. Things that the people that I met there are doing now are just outrageously magic. Just worked with great people. And was able to, stay in touch with them and be mentored by them through their actions and through, their movements. Went from there into pretty much like a quiet period. I had a real quiet period in my career because I saw some things that really were disturbing at the corporate level, and I didn't really know how to handle it at the time. So I just kind of like went inside for a bit. And when I came back out, some opportunities came to take advantage of the talent that I had and what I had done, but I applied that work then into advertising. And I basically spent the next probably 15 years of my career as a strategist in the advertising and marketing world, building experiences, building, creative careers, more importantly. And that was really what I did for the remainder of that time, was help people in their creative careers. I would get to places and people would say, I came here to do this. I'm not doing this. I really am good at this thing that I do, and I'd love to do more of it. And I would help them to do more of that through working with them to create ideas that
Wow.
clients would be interested in, that
Right.
allowed them to do what they did really, really well. And that's what I saw kind of from this point, from this vantage point, looking back in my career, was the
Yeah.
fact that all those brands that you listed created great vehicles of opportunity for people to do great things. But it really was them doing what they did best as creative beings.
So
That was it.
you've always been this educator then. You've always been this guy. That's always been your niche. Is
That
like
was
you
it.
so you were always the man. Oh,
Yeah.
you having trouble like creatively with your marketing, branding, PR? Go to Kamau. He's the man.
Because I just listened. I could
Mm,
hear it, right? I could listen to, I was curious about what the creative challenge was. I've always been curious about the creative challenge.
yeah.
What is it? Where are we trying to get to? And I will say that my curiosity certainly has killed some cats, right? My curiosity for potential possibility, where we could go for evolution. Like, if let's take these steps forward,
Hmm.
that is unsettling for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's unsettling for a lot of people
Yeah.
because advancing the ball mentally,
Hmm.
as you know, is quite difficult. It's
It,
not the physical, practical side of it.
no.
It's
Oh,
all in the mind.
yeah.
Advancing the ball mentally is the hardest thing to do.
You were talking.
Accepting, my bad. Go ahead.
No, no, no. Like, you were talking. Accepting what?
No, accepting the beauty of the circumstance. Like, we're here, we got here. All these things got us here. Cool.
Hmm.
It's amazing. All these things got us here. Where are we going? And can we shift that gear into where we are going? We can do it. We can do it
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Collectively, we can get ourselves together, and we can
Hmm.
do it right now if we got ourselves together collectively to do it. And what I didn't realize at the time was how hard that was mentally on folks, to
Mm.
see and accept change, what it takes and what it took to nurture change
Hmm.
and nurture progress
Mm.
into an organization. Not
Mm.
just lead it and push it,
Right.
but nurture it into an organization,
Right.
nurture it into an ecosystem, so that everybody had some level of comfort
Hmm.
with where we were going.
Yeah.
And in companies where that particular thing was really only beset by money or budget,
Hmm.
that's where it was really, really difficult, where the challenge was financial, not creative.
And change can be difficult. You were talking about that box earlier of
Yeah.
society or of a corporation.
Mhm.
Change, it's like, no, we've always done it this way. And the corporations then put that mold into their marketer or PR person and like, yo, this is how we do it. And then you're like, yo, we can do it this way and it can work. And they're like, no, we can't. Hell nah. What do you mean? Like that will piss somebody off, and therefore they're going to risk not only looking dumb, right, and looking
Mhm.
weird and looking
Mhm.
different, but also they're going to risk their position as well because some person upstairs or wherever they are, they're going to be like, this person's not following our guidelines, so therefore we got to get rid of them. So
Yeah.
you being able to, like you said, nurture that change,
Mhm.
that is probably the most important thing ever because it's like, yo, you gotta, it's more about cultivating.
Yeah.
It's more about like, yo, this might be scary, but due to this person's creativity, this is going to work.
Yes.
We can execute this.
We can
And
execute this.
dude, and you are going to connect with so many other people that you wouldn't have connected with because of this person and their creativity. Yo, what was the finesse that you had to use with that, bruh?
I was not finesseful for a long time, right?
Yeah, just
Honestly,
get it
because I
in
could
there.
see it. I
Yeah,
could see it, right? I could see the potential. I could see the people. I could see the collection of talent.
yeah, yeah.
It was never the building. I could see the collection of talent and their eagerness and their willingness to do what needed to be done in order to make something great. What was not universal in those environments was what greatness looked like.
Mm, mm,
And if we don't have a universal understanding of what greatness looks like, if it's, especially when it's left to like an individual's mind,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
it is really challenging for a company and for a leader, right?
mm-hmm.
Especially a creative leader, to come in and create the thing that's hidden in somebody's mind behind a number of things, right? Financial responsibility, structure, like all these things. But if we don't collectively understand that vision, it is impossible for us to collectively help you to get it there. Right. And so then as a visionary, I just had to have my own vision. Right. If it's not there for me to latch on to, the vehicle isn't there, then I've got to operate with my own vision. We got the clients, we got the opportunity. These clients want to do some cool things. They're sending these briefs. Let's go make magic.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go make magic. And
let's
so
go.
that was the finesse, was through the ideas. The only way to really lead that change was through the ideas that the clients respected. And when the clients respected the ideas, then that would take the organization to a place where, oh, the clients respect this? Cool.
Right.
Now we can go there.
Yeah.
Now we can go there. And so that was really the finesse. I learned that I had to just do it through the ideas. Because structurally, again, as a teacher, this, as a teacher and a leader of students, it is really difficult to get somebody to see what you see in them.
Yeah. 100.
Right. It's really challenging to get somebody to see what you see in them, and to get the leader of a company to see what you see in what they've created.
Yeah.
Really see it. Like, look what you've done, bro. Look what you've done, young lady. Look what you've done. And take that, like, yes, and yes,
yes.
You're this dope. You got all these people here. And that's the part.
Yes.
That's the part. Is when the yes and is met with no but.
Right.
It deletes everything.
Yeah.
Exasperated. So you get exasperated trying to yes and being met with no but. It is exhausting.
I bet.
It's exhausting for a teacher.
Yeah.
It's exhausting for a coach. It's exhausting for an employee. It's exhausting for a leader. It's exhausting for a parent. It's exhausting for a child. It's exhausting because you got ideas. We have ideas. What if, let's be in the what if world together. Just see where it goes. Let's see where it could go.
Yeah,
let's play.
That's a tricky question right there. That's a tricky question. Oh man.
But if you play it out, you can see all the parts, right? You got somebody who understands the financial part. You got somebody who understands it. So you play out the what if. We can see where that could go.
Yeah.
But can we do that with an optimistic, enthusiastic lens versus that kind of rejective, redactive, but lens? Now, sometimes that enthusiastic trip leads to a place where that wasn't exactly where we're trying to end up. However, there's some magic here on the path.
Yeah.
Let's take that magic and put us on this new path, because if we make this adjustment,
right,
then we can fly through that turbulence with more ease and more skill and get to someplace. But when ideas are met with turbulence, in our minds, in our collective minds, right, it just becomes like a collective mindset. It's just turbulence. That's all there is.
Right. And then it's harder to budge. It's with a collective mindset, it's more like a tanker. You know what I mean? In the ocean, or in the ocean or in a river, it takes a lot longer for it to pivot and turn than, say, a kayak or a canoe.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's the one where it's like, yes, and go. And like, okay, all right, let's work together on this.
Exactly.
But with the tanker, it's got to get the engine going, and this part has to work with that part. And you have to it takes so long.
When you saw that big tanker that got stuck in that canal, jammed up so many things for so long. Right. Big tanker in a space where it couldn't maneuver.
It's like,
stuck. And everything stuck behind it. That's that analogy. And that's why I think that analogy is out there. Like, it's hard to turn a big ship or whatever it is. Yeah, I think it's very, very true. And so you have to understand. And that's what I didn't understand at the time was what that navigation looked like. I would just say, all right, cool. I'm going to just drop the dinghy. Drop the dinghy. I'm gonna grab these people. We're gonna go over here and just go into this new land. Can't do that. You got to bring everybody with you.
Yeah,
you got to bring everybody with you. And I did not get it for a long time.
What made
But I
you?
did find great ideas that were on the dingy life.
I'm so fascinated with what made you. What made you like reconstruct your ego, if you will?
Mm,
What
mm,
made you? What made you
yeah,
like grow as far
yeah.
as your ego is concerned? Uh-oh. Hey, yeah, he's giving me this laugh right now. Like, this is the story right here. This is he went on a journey.
I went on a journey. I
Yeah.
went on a journey. I went on a journey of self-discovery that I created for myself.
Hmm.
I created for myself. And that's that's the magic of this human experience, is that we are creating our own pathways, right? And so I created two pathways for myself that both helped me to understand what I did and what I had done, what I do and what I had done. There's the corporate side and there's the personal side. Okay. The personal side was the real catalyst where I was my ex-wife and I have a great relationship, and we've always lived pretty much in separate states, pretty much since our divorce. And so from the time my son was about 3, she moved back to Chicago. He was in kind of preschool there. She moved to LA. He was in elementary school out here in LA when they were living here for about 5 years, and then moved to Texas. All that while I was just doing what I had to do to be where I could be.
Hmm.
We had a very open partnership in terms of time with my son. So if I could be where they were, I was doing everything I could to be where they were. However, at the same time, I knew that home for me was my place in Jersey City.
Hmm.
And so I wanted to, maintain that. And so I was doing everything I could professionally to be there. Along that way, I was also searching for completion in my romantic life. And I was looking just relentlessly for completion. I was looking for somebody to like add to my equation.
Hmm.
Right. Felt like I had a really good situation, really good base. And I was dating to get complete. I would
Hmm.
date women who I thought, had creative careers, and so they would understand the creative side of my life. I was dating women who were earning the kind of money that I thought would like make for a great financial equation in our lives. Um, uh, all these things that I was looking for this completion that I did not know was within me.
Hmm.
When my son came to live with me full time at the kind of in the middle of middle school, 7th grade,
Hmm.
it was this flashpoint where I've been living this life, doing dating the way that I was, kind of
Right.
living in this world, but I was not ready at the time for him to come and live with me full time. I didn't know all the sacrifices that I was going to have to make with him being in the house, seeing all of my behavior,
Right.
all of it,
That's
all
true.
of it, all of it,
Hmm.
because he gets to see it all as well. We forget this as parents. They see it all. They hear it all. They feel it all. It's in the air.
Absorb it all.
Absorb it all. They absorb it all. And I didn't realize that. I didn't recognize that. And I was in London doing something for one of those big brands. And the woman I was dating was in my apartment, and she was looking at one of my iPhones that had like stuck to a wall that I use as a remote control for music and lights and all those kind of things, not over Wi-Fi connected and all that kind of good stuff. And she was reading my text messages and seeing the other relationships that I was carrying. And I'm across the ocean, and she's there taking care of my son and seeing this. And it was a huge moment of clarity for me.
Hmm.
A huge moment of clarity for me because I
Hmm.
didn't recognize all that was happening and see all the things that I was creating in my life, all the things that I was doing, all the situations that I was creating while I was just doing what I thought felt good.
Hmm.
And in my seeking and my searching, thought felt good or felt right or was satisfying whatever craving or urges or nudges or whatever that I had.
Hmm.
I didn't recognize all the other things that were being created at the same time. I
Hmm.
didn't see it,
Hmm.
right? The great feelings, the feelings of attachment and love and connection, and like, these I was carrying on relationships, full
Hmm.
relationships,
Hmm.
with not like full relationships with
Hmm.
humans.
Hmm.
And to need to ask somebody to sit in that situation while you made your way back across the country while they have to sit in that emotional state, while he also has to observe that emotional state.
Mm-hmm.
That was a eye opener and a
Yeah.
game changer.
Yeah.
And I went to a friend of mine. Whose house I'm actually in right now. And, you know, I was like, look, man, I don't have anybody I can talk to about this, but here's what's up with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I need some help. I need to be able to talk to somebody about this.
Mm-hmm.
Professionally, personally, I just need to work through this. And I was introduced to my first life coach, my first kind of, you know, shaman life coach, who really helped me to like see myself from all sides,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to like see that there are other dimensions to
Mm-hmm.
access, you know, and that you can create with love, you know, like creating with love, creating love and creating with love was something that I did professionally, but not necessarily something I did in my romantic life.
Right.
And in my friendships even, you know, just really create with love and just be the love.
Yeah.
And let everything else come.
Yeah.
That journey has been about a 3 or 4 year journey
Mm-hmm.
that I've been in. I get to actually spend some time with him tomorrow. The other side of that was getting into the C-suite corporately.
Mm-hmm.
I again, you know, remember, you go back to the video game levels, right? I saw the C-suite. I was like, oh, there's a role. There's a chief creative role.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got after it. Okay. Got after it. Got there. I got there. I got to the chief creative officer role. I got to the money that I wanted. I got to the experience that I wanted to have. I got to have this incredible team that I had available to me via the incredible recruitment of this particular company.
Yeah.
Was monstrous. It was magic. That team, those people, oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
But the level of resistance that I met to progressive asks at that level was unfathomable to me. I didn't get it. I was like, we're here. We're at the point. We're at the decision-making point. Who else do we need to talk to?
Right.
And just tell me no. Like if the answer is no, just tell me no, but we're here. We're at this point. And that was a really challenging place to be in a position to kind of corporately lead creativity and know that creativity isn't holistic. It's a holistic thing. It's a whole company thing.
Yeah.
Creativity is not just a department. We're all there to create whatever the intention is for that company. We're all there to do it. We are all a part of that creative organism. And I take that seriously.
Yeah.
I can do the departmental thing, but I also take the fact that we are a creative entity seriously. So as a chief creative officer, I'm looking at everything that fuels the creative magic, not just the department, what comes into that department, what comes out of that department, how that flows, who are the right people to get that flow happening. Like what is the ecosystem of, you know, creative beauty that's happening there that allows, what is that flow that actually allows for a great creative ecosystem? And I couldn't understand at the time that challenge. And what I realized in the moment was I was in an organization that had created a lot of revenue, had created a great organization of people, but didn't necessarily have a reason to create other than the financial game and competitive game of creating. It didn't really have a reason to create. It had in there was a really powerful mission. Right. But it wasn't something that everybody understood. Right. And that frustration then allowed me to kind of let me just look at what I really do. Yeah. Because all of the success that I was having was through the side door. It was through the people. The people would come to me and they would say, hey, I came here to do this. I came here to do this. Yeah. Not exactly doing this. I am really good at this. Can somebody let me do what I do?
Wow. Back to square one.
Back to square one.
Wow.
And I did everything that I could to help those people get into a better understanding of their creative spirit. Right. And their creative capability and what their creative potential was, and appreciate that and nurture that and hear it and love it. But at the same time, I knew that structurally what they had an opportunity for there was so magic, it was so magic that it just couldn't break through. It was just too magic. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But and the realization for me was I do that thing where I help the people.
That's right.
With their understanding of their creativity. I do that.
Wow. Come out.
These places, these structures, these buildings, these brands are one thing as a part of that. They were the vehicle to help me to understand what I do. And I could look back on those 25 years and even further via the stories that my mother tells. And I can see what I do very clearly in helping to uplift the creative spirit wherever I go.
Your style is so creative and unique that no matter what level you got to in the corporate world, you could be in the C-suite, you still got met with no but. You still get, and like that had to be frustrating as hell. It's like, yo, I'm making decisions over here, yo. I'm making decisions in this department. I'm still getting met with like resistance.
You hired me. You called me. You sat on Zooms with me, and I told you what I do.
Right.
I was very clear about what I do.
Very clear. Yes.
As everybody is in these processes. This is what I do. This is what turns me on. This is what delights me. This is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm here to bring to your organization. And, to be in that and then to carry the truth forward. I see magic in your company. I see all the things that you can be. I see all the things that you can do. I see all this great talent around. I see these adjustments that we can make. I see these hires. If we make these hires, boom, magic. Yeah. Magic. And to not just be met with no but to not be able to sit in the magic room. Not be able to sit in the magic room.
Where the work is happening too. Like you're up in the C-suite now. Oh man,
it was the blessing. It was the biggest gift, my brother. It was such a gift because I got myself there so I could see what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got myself there so I could see what I do.
Yeah.
And I think for the people that I've worked with in my career, the friendships that I made, the connections that I've made in my life, you go down the list as I have, trying to understand myself. And they'll tell you the same thing. I didn't know this is what I did. I didn't know it that whole time.
Right.
I thought I was a VP. I thought I was a chief something. I thought I was a account something. I thought I was a director of something.
No.
And then I put on the mask of those things. I put on what needed to be put on to do those things and talk the language I needed to talk to do those things. Right. But what I was doing was supporting creativity. And that's what I do. And I'll do until the end of my days to support creativity.
All right. So now that's the transition there to you fully like taking off all masks. Yeah, right. And now just really fully owning that role as the guide. And that's where Alien School came from.
That's where Alien School came from is the weight of all those masks, right? The weight of all those masks. And you get to a point of understanding that they're masks, like understanding that with all this, through all this, I am still me. No matter what, I am still me. I operate like this. This is how I operate. I could shift it, right? I could shift it into what you need me to do, but this is how I operate. This is my magic mode. With all those masks, though, with all that weight, with all those things on, it becomes this tension, this elemental tension, right? That we all feel. And that's where alienation comes into play, right? That's when we feel we're already alien. We're already from space, floating around in space on this rock in this thing. And people are like, yo, go do this thing to make this thing, right? Pay this so you can do these things. This costs this costs Y, right? In order to be here. Right. Baseline. So that already is kind of like a foreign thing, but we are adapting to it. Yeah. Right. We've adapted to it in ways. Now, some people's adaptation to that is very, very challenging. Right. Some humans' adaptation to it is very, very challenging. We see that in all kinds of things in life: war, struggle, racism. bigotry, just unhealthy relationships. Right? It's tough to adjust to all the things that our minds can do. And it is super alienating when we're not doing the thing that we do best. When we're not doing the thing that we do best, the thing that we love, the thing that we're kind of here to do on this planet, and we're giving that up for somebody else's dream. And we don't really understand that. We don't fully understand that on so many levels.
Yeah.
I bring that back to that feeling of alienation that I felt, right? I felt it corporately. I've been places where I'm like wearing this suit. I'm like, what? This is not me, right? And on those nights, something significant would always happen. I would remember it. I would know when I was really feeling uncomfortable and not feeling as me, like something on those nights would snap. And that time in London was one of those moments where I knew I was just not comfortable where I was. I didn't understand why I was there for the thing that I needed to be there for. I didn't really get. It was like, I don't know if you need me for this. You shouldn't need me for this. We are smart enough collectively to do this thing without me. But I was there supporting it. But on that night, I was just feeling off. And right, that sense of alienation is why I even called the alien school, because we actually need to get comfortable with our alienness, right? Get comfortable with it, get cozy with the fact that we're different. Like each of us is different. We are the snowflakes. I've said that on, other shows. We are the snowflakes that we admire. Each of us is unique. What came through to each of us is uniquely for us. And it is challenging to experience that uniqueness in a world that's homogenous. It's very difficult, and so it propels us in so many ways. And that alienation is something that I am familiar with, I know really well, and can help people through. And like getting through that part, getting comfortable being an alien on this planet. Man, getting comfortable being an alien on this planet is so much fun, because then you're like, oh wow, this is a full-on creative wonderland.
Yes. It's all of a sudden become the Sims game. You know what I mean? You're creating these experiences like the video game. You know what I mean?
We're in it. We just don't know that we're in it.
Yeah, 100.
We're in it, and it's beautiful. And it doesn't require psychedelics. It doesn't require psychedelics. It doesn't require those things. It requires some acceptance of the fact that we're here on this dope planet.
Yeah. That's the realest right there.
You are in one of the dopest places on this planet. You can walk outside and see how dope this gift of a planet is every day. And when we can accept that, like my word, I'm just an alien on this dope planet. And I get to create from here. Like all this stuff, all these things that I've been through have like brought me to this point where now I know that I am a creative. I was created to create.
Yes.
I'm here to be. Yes. I'm here to do. I'm here to create. I was created to create. It's a different world. It's a different experience. But you get to be comfortable as an alien in this alienation that we're in. And like even the fact that I can talk about this with this much clarity and openness is a massive shift from where I've been for so long in my life and my career. But it is true, and I've felt it, and I've felt it as a person who's worked a long career, and have done a lot of the things from the internship all the way up to the executive level that a lot of people are doing and going through in varying degrees of their experience, because everything has the same kind of bureaucratic layering levels to it. Titles are different, but the investment that we're making as humans in these organizations is the same. Right, we're investing our human resource into making something go. That is the release of the ego, right? We're here for the go part. We're here for the go part.
And that's exactly right. And that's what I was going to ask you about. Like, how does it feel now for you to say nothing but yes and to your students?
Right? It's wild. It's so great.
Like the go. It's just go. Yes. Just all right. That's the go part, right? Go. You got it. Go. Yes, and.
Yes. and go. All the other things, like the emotionality of it, I understand, right? The environment. I understand you feel challenged by the environment. Again, that's a part of the E. I get it. I understand you feel challenged by the environment. I know you feel challenged by existence. Existence challenges you because you're like, wow, I got to do all this to exist. Yes. Yes.
Short answer.
Yes, and
yes,
and go. Yes, and go.
With your internship, it sounded like you had it, right? But like for a while, you didn't have that. So for you,
I had it in pockets. I had it in pockets, but it would be met. Like there's a right. My go.
Right. yeah.
My go is way out there. Right.
Uh-huh.
I'm a founder of the Alien School. Okay?
right.
My go is like,
uh-huh.
Everybody's go isn't there.
Yeah.
Everybody's go isn't there. Right. And so I've had it in opportunities in places, but it's been met with somebody else's go.
Right.
And the limitations of that, the distance of where they can see the potential, where they can see the potential. I can see it.
Yeah.
They can only see it to a certain point. I had to start to respect that. And that's one of the big parts of the Alien School as well is respecting somebody's limitations. Yeah. Okay, this is where you are right now. Yeah. Let's at least get to here and just peek our head up and be like, no. Right. Let's get to right here. Just be like, okay, I can do something with this.
He was right.
And I don't want to be right. I want them to be right. I want them to be right. It is not about me. I want my students to be right. I want them to feel that all that instinct and all that pressure and all that pressing was for a reason. You know, when you make the decisions in your life that actually propel you forward, you don't realize what a big relief sometimes that is and how much of a deep breath that is in your body to like take that in, you know, because we start striving for the next thing. Right. But when we get to that moment and we can just like, okay, I'm here. Where do I go from here? Yeah. Where can we go from here? Yeah. Is such a powerful, moment of acceptance, right? Beyond the environment, beyond the experience, beyond existence, right?
Ooh, hey, brah. Yo, you about to feel that too. But
I know. I'm ready to dive in. This is fantastic.
One more question though.
Yes.
You were telling, like, the audience has to know about how this is the Alien School is that venture that you can't turn back from. Like, there's no going back. Tell them about that, man.
So, and I know many other business owners have felt this. I know that many other people, artists, we're all working to create a better world. We may not understand clearly the world that we want to see, and so we might be working to create somebody else's version of a better world.
Real talk.
But we're all every single one of us are working to create a better world. We all are. In the process of that, you get comfortable, right? You get comfortable and you get very comfortable with every 2 weeks salary, every 2 weeks, something coming in, you're making advertising executive salary, all those kind of things. That is a really dope comfort zone when you're in it, you're doing the work, you are feeling like you're accomplishing something every day, even though it's difficult and challenging and tense, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's beautiful, and like people are out there just doing creative shit, and they're just amazing, right? But at a certain point, releasing from a structure, so that one can fly is a giant leap. It's a giant leap, and but once you have leapt, and I leapt and took the leap. I knew that this was the next phase of me. I have an understanding of where the Alien School can go in terms of, I know what the Alien School is going to do in the transformation of creative education in the world. Wow. And having that kind of conviction and having that kind of understanding of creativity that I was gifted with through my experience, that was my inheritance, right? My inheritance was that experience so I could understand creativity. Yeah. Now I get to be that creative that I was asking for opportunities to do before. I get to be that creative that can see a great creative future for every single person when they tap into their raw creativity and understand the life that they've created for themselves or the life that has been created for them and how they navigate in that world as a creative, as somebody who can create a better future. Like that, I don't know why I would do anything else on any day of my life than that. So that was the leap. And releasing from that, releasing into a new comfort level with myself, with my story, a new comfort level with the truth, a new comfort level with my role in everything, my role in everything. Like that's a different kind of acceptance.
Yeah.
And to then see that, yes, and you are here. So now what? Is again, I get to live that every day now, every day. No going back. Well, what's to go back to? What's to go back to?
Right, man, beautiful, dog. And it's, like seriously, man, like your story is one of just constantly being creative in every opportunity that you get and expressing yourself, and also but also helping people express themselves as well. And just growth, nothing but growth, bruh. Like from every level, you know what I mean? From all the way from Tribe Called Quest to, working with the brands to the C-suite, and now really owning who you are, finally seeing like who you are. You saw others.
Seeing who I am.
Yeah, you saw it all like others, but now like seeing and owning who you are at a optimal level to where now it's like no turning back. I see who I am. I am ready to soar, yo. I am ready to truly soar and live in this space, as this alien amongst aliens. Yo, that's so phenomenal, man. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show. Damn, for real. Come out. That is the dopest, man. The dopest.
Thank you so much. No, I mean, look, this adventure, as you called it, like this adventure, is new. I mean, it's the wild, wild west. There's great look. And there's so many people doing great things to help people with their creativity in this world and understand it, right? From a professional level, from a academic level, like the entities that are out there that are doing such amazing things to help people do amazing things. Like, oh my goodness. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. And the more the parents understand that, honestly, like when your kids got like a thing, just be the wind, be that supportive wind, be that gentle wind, like, but be the wind. It's amazing what you can do when you harness the wind of like, they're the ones that know what the future is. They know what the future is. They know what the futures look like. They're fresh out the goop. They know. They're unspoiled. They're fresh out the goop. They know what's up.
Yeah.
This is why when you hear that wisdom from a kid, you're like, how
Right.
old are you?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, you've been here before.
You've been here before. They're fresh out the goop. They know what's up.
Yeah.
Be the wind. That's the tool that we have here. Be the wind to step into yourself, to step into yourself, to step into myself has been incredibly enlightening experience. When I say enlightening, meaning like I feel lighter in so many parts of my life. And because I feel lighter in so many parts of my life, the people around me can also feel that lightness.
Yeah.
And they are lit up by that lightness. And I can see it in my family. I can see it in my mother. I can see it in, my relationships. I can see it in my friendships. And to be able to share, from this vantage point of being able to understand both dimensions, right? This material world that we all have to work in and work with, but then also to be in a space where we can create, we can partner with each other in so many dope ways like this, just like this.
Yeah, hell yeah.
To share amazing stories of humanity and what we're capable of and what we can do for each other. Because why else would we be here if not to do for each other's betterment?
Yes.
What is that? I don't even understand the choice anymore. You know, and it is such a pleasure to get to collaborate with another teacher, another guide, another coach. You know what I mean? Another, you know what I'm saying? Like this is a collaboration.
Yeah.
Right. This is a collaboration. So when we start to see our experience as a creative collaboration and broadcast from the heart as we're doing, you know, there are no limits. There are no limits to that.
Facts.
You know.
Hell yeah. Man. Yeah. Well, this collaboration has another part. You gave us the gift of your amazing story from the rawest place that you can give it, from the realest place that you can give it. I want to acknowledge you and tell you that I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Like, for real, for you being so real, so raw, so honest. And just, of course, you know, the way that you story tell is phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you,
And
brother.
yeah, on the second half of the show, that's where
Yes.
I get an opportunity to give. Because right here on the Drop Your Baggage podcast, we talk to people that are dope, that can give you hope and show you a technique that can help you cope. And that technique is called the mental and emotional release process. Now, a disclaimer, I am not a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a therapist, social worker. I am a self-talk engineer who utilizes neuro linguistic programming techniques in order to help people heal mentally and emotionally. Now, today, we are going to be releasing the fear of judgment, right? So how do you feel as though the fear of judgment is affecting you, my brother?
You know, when you look back at your life, it's challenging, right? Because you have to accept your role. All these people have done all the things that they did. I was there too. And in understanding that I was there too, I had to look at my behavior for my behavior. What was I doing? And who was I being? Who was I pretending to be? Who was I pretending to be? And in the course of pretending to be somebody while in this body, nobody else but me, the course of pretending to be somebody, you can upset some apple carts when you don't know what you're doing with yourself. And I have upset some apple carts. You know what I mean? I've certainly done it. And I had to be able to forgive myself where in my mind there may not be forgiveness.
Yeah.
Right. I had to be able to forgive myself so I can move forward. But that fear of judgment, me expressing myself in this way, being out in the world with my story, talking about alien wildness.
Right.
You know what I mean? In a very like hyper political world, in a world where like this kind of dialogue is needed but not necessarily accepted. And through the healing and the work that I've done to accept myself right here, I have just dealt with that fear that all those people that I may have upset are just holding on to it. And as I express myself in the world, that they'll have something to say about it. At the same time, social media exists. So, you know what I mean? It's the thing, it's so personal.
Yeah.
It can feel so personal, you know, the judgment that we think is coming can feel so personal that we don't see that, you know, it's just the world. Like it's just the world, and everybody is having these experiences. So yeah, that's what I've had to sit with and have been dealing with and struggling with at certain points in my life and my career, and whether it be from my family based on my career and what the choices I made, the women that I chose to date. It's always been something that's been in the background of my experience.
Like, let's do the mind-body connection.
Yeah.
So if you were to feel it in your body, this fear of judgment, if you were to close your eyes and imagine a time in which you felt that fear of judgment, where do you feel it in your body?
It's deep in the root, like deep in the belly. And where I feel it most is in my mind, you know, in the turning around of my behavior and the thoughts about, you know, what people will say, won't say. You know, again, I have a dope imagination.
Yeah.
I have a dope imagination.
Yeah.
And so with that imagination, I'm also a pretty good writer. I can write some scripts.
Mm-hmm.
I can write some scripts. I can write some stories. I can write in people's voices. I can tell the story in my mind about the negative thing that someone would have to say about the thing that I'm doing. I can write it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I've been learning is how to overwrite that. And that's what I think we're going to be getting into.
Definitely.
So there's definitely that sensation in the belly, but my mind is really where a lot of that work happens and where a lot of the tension is created.
A lot of chatter.
A lot of chatter.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I hear it. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how intense is it?
I've been teaching myself to meditate.
Yeah.
And now that I know what I can do from a meditative standpoint, it's manageable. But there are
Uh,
definitely points when, it reaches what I would consider, just
mm-hmm.
from my knowledge as a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
to be a 5 or a 6, which is pretty intense.
Yeah, for sure.
But I know people who get to 10 and beyond. I've seen it in my students, in my family, in my friends. I've seen it. And I know that I don't have that same level of tension.
Mm-hmm.
So at a macro, I put what is my 10 at a global probably 5,
Got it. Got it.
which is still a lot of noise.
Yeah, it's a lot, yo. It is
It's
a
a lot
lot.
of noise.
We about that, and that's my main goal right here today is to silence that noise for you. Is to help you silence that noise. It's that's gonna feel phenomenal. It's gonna be weird.
Of course, it's going to be weird. That's what I'm
And
here for.
touche. Hey, the the best part is you using your creativity. After we get done with the exercise,
Mhm.
you have to use your creativity to write a new script. To write a new script with the new perspective and consciousness that you have.
Mhm.
That's gonna be the I'm not gonna call it the homework, but the challenge for you.
Here's the thing, my friend.
What up?
This is where we started out with, my son walking into himself, right? Walking
Uh-huh.
into his future.
Uh-huh.
It's written.
Already.
We're doing this
Yeah.
so that it will be written.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's written.
Already.
We're just
So,
living it.
yeah. Well, let's go ahead and start writing. So, in order for you to have a profound experience, all you have to do are three things. Number one, you have to use your imagination. Just hilarious. Number two, you have to follow directions, just like you
Yes.
follow Google Maps or a good recipe. And number three, you have to trust the process. Know that I'm your guide, and I'll be leading you through this easily and effortlessly. And I come from a place of love and high vibrations. We have to create a timeline. So let's go ahead and use that imagination right now. Now, with your timeline, your past can be to your left, to your right, or behind you. If you were to know, where's your past?
My left,
Left. Where's your future?
in front of me.
In front of you. Yes. Got you. All right. Now, I want you to think of 3 instances where you felt that fear of judgment throughout your life that have a pretty high intensity. And let me know when you have them, and we can go ahead and record them and check on them after the exercise. Let me know when you have them. Got them? All
I
right.
got him.
All right, cool. So can you go ahead and you don't have to give me a whole synopsis or anything. And you don't have to get all personal or anything either.
Yeah.
But go ahead and let me know about those 3.
The judgment from friends of exes. Friends
Gotcha.
of exes.
Yep.
Um, Judgment I felt internally, not externally, but the first time I brought a woman home who was not of my race.
Uh-huh. And
And the judgment I feel for myself whenever I'm not as financially responsible as I know that I could be.
gotcha. Let's get it. Is it all right with your unconscious mind for you to release this fear of judgment today and for you to be aware of it consciously?
Yes, indeed.
Awesome. Now we discussed the root cause of this problem, the first event, which when disconnected, that will cause this problem to disappear. Now that event is around kindergarten or first grade. Sit next to Keelan Nixon. You go ahead, tell the audience about good old Keelan.
Keelan Nixon was a buddy in elementary school, grade school, sat next to me. This is like first grade, kindergarten. And we had to fold, the paper into squares so we could do our math problems. And the squares were, where the math problems would go. Little brown piece of paper folded into sixths. And as I was folding, Keelan looked over at me and was like, Sam, I was born Samuel. Sam, you fold like a baby. You fold like a baby.
Uh,
I don't know why that stuck with me,
uh-huh.
but it was just this first experience of judgment that I can point to that has stuck with me my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
48 now. This was in like kindergarten.
Mm-hmm. Damn key line.
Man, I could see it. I could see the scene, and yeah, it just stuck. It just stuck, and but it's there for a reason, right? It's
Yeah,
there for a reason,
100.
and that's the beauty of this process and the living process.
Yes, indeed. So let's go ahead and get to it, man. Let's start the process. So go ahead, keep your eyes closed, relax, and let me know when you're ready for the process.
I'm ready.
Awesome. Now, just imagine floating outside of your body as if though you were spirit or energy. Just imagine seeing yourself right here, right now, from a third person point of view, like a fly on the wall. So your headphones, the mic in front of you, your necklace with the gemstone, your beard. Let me know when you can see yourself.
I can see myself.
Awesome. Now, just imagine floating up above your timeline and float to the left into the past
Mm-hmm.
and float deeper and deeper and deeper into the past above that first event in which you felt
Mm-hmm.
that fear of judgment when you were just a little boy in grade school. And just imagine floating over that event, seeing that event from a third person point of view, like a fly on the wall. See you and Keelan and the other students. Let me know when you can see that event.
I'm there.
Awesome. Now, just stay right there. Observe the event. Be the observer of that event. And as you do so, ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from the event, the learning of which that will allow you to let go of the emotions easily and effortlessly. Your unconscious mind can preserve the learnings so that if you need them in the future, they'll be there. Just tell your unconscious mind to preserve the learnings. This is an exercise of forgiveness and acceptance. Forgiveness for yourself and others, and acceptance of yourself and others. Who do you have to forgive? What do you have to accept? Who do you have to accept? Be sure to see the event from your perspective, but also from Keelan's perspective as well. And as you do so, have empathy and compassion for everyone and focus your attention upon how you are loved. You're a survivor. Hurt people hurt people. We're all doing the best that we can with the resources and consciousness that we have. We can't control anyone else's actions, but we can control our response. We can grow stronger and wiser and learn from other people's actions and mistakes. Learn what to do and learn what not to do. Other people's actions have nothing to do with you. It's only a reflection of their baggage and their consciousness and whatever else is going on at the time. And we're better people than we were when those events occurred. You're a better person than you were when those events occurred. You're stronger. You're wiser. What is something positive and empowering you could tell yourself as that little boy and Keelan and everyone else involved in the event with the consciousness that you have today that will allow the emotions to evaporate like water on the concrete on a hot summer day?
Mm-hmm.
And as you preserve these learnings, the emotions are starting to dissipate more and more until they're all gone. Just let me know when they're all gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
You can actually feel the wind take them away.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm. You're going to keep going, but I'm complete. Mm-hmm.
Say that again.
So they're going to keep flowing away, but I am complete.
Do you feel the emotions in that event anymore?
Oh yeah, flowing away.
Just take your time. Let them flow. Let them flow all the way out until they're all gone. Just ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from the event, the learning of which that will allow you to let go of the emotions easily and effortlessly. Your unconscious mind can preserve the learnings so that if you need them in the future, they'll be there. Just tell your unconscious mind to preserve the learnings. This is an exercise of forgiveness and acceptance. Forgiveness for yourself and others, and acceptance of yourself and others. Who do you have to forgive? What do you have to accept? Who do you have to accept? Be sure to see the event from everyone's perspective and have empathy and compassion for everyone. And as you do so, focus your attention upon how hurt people hurt people. We're all doing the best that we can with the resources and consciousness that we have. Can't control anyone else's actions, but we can control our response. We can grow stronger and wiser and learn from other people's actions and mistakes. Other people's actions have nothing to do with you. It's only a reflection of their baggage and their consciousness and whatever that's going on at the time. We're better people than we were when those events occurred. You're a better person than you were when those events occurred. You're stronger. You're wiser. You're a survivor, and you are loved. What is something positive and empowering you could tell yourself as that little boy and Keelan and everyone else involved in the event with the consciousness that you have today that will allow the emotions to evaporate like water on the concrete on a hot summer day. And as you preserve these learnings, the emotions are starting to dissipate more and more until they're all gone. Just let me know when they're all gone. Are you above the event?
Looking around.
Okay, good. Make sure
I'm
you.
looking around.
Yeah, good, good. Stay above the event. Good, good, good. Thank you.
They're all gone.
Awesome. Now, keep your eyes closed. Stay above that event, and tell me, what did you learn from that event with Keelan?
You know, that the judgment was about the folding. What I've seen through my life is it's not the folding, the accuracy of the folding, the precision. It's the unfolding. It's the unfolding. It's what we get to see in ourselves as we watch that flower blossom, as we watch that rose bloom, as we see nature take its course. It's the unfolding.
Wow. Wow. Anything else?
That was enough. That was enough. I mean, because again, there's that acceptance and forgiveness in there, right? Keelan didn't know what he was sparking in me. Thank you, right? And that's that gratitude, because that judgment has propelled me into a lot in the background, you know. And acceptance of myself is just like a kid in a room folding paper, you know, just doing what I was doing. Like there's no need to hold on to that, except for what it brought into my life, except for the fact that it brought this moment and this opportunity into my life. I'm here as a beautiful result, telling this beautiful story as a part of my own unfoldment. Amen. through that event, not because of it, but through that event, through those events, through those experiences.
Yes. Awesome. Now, just imagine floating up above your timeline and float into the past and float deeper and deeper and deeper into the past, above the dinosaurs during the prehistoric age. Let me know when you're above the dinosaurs.
Pretty dope up here. It's not scary.
Awesome. Now, as you're above the dinosaurs, just imagine floating into space and float deeper and deeper and deeper into space to where space and the atmosphere connects. And imagine your timeline is the size of a fingernail. Let me know when you're there.
I am there.
Awesome. Now, just imagine floating there, weightless, in space. And ask yourself now, where are the emotions? Tell me, are they there or have they disappeared? Now.
They're here with me. I am the floater. They're here with me.
So the emotions inside of the event, the negative emotions, that is.
They're a part of me. They're a part of me. They're a part of my record. If I'm the floater.
Do you feel them?
I don't need to feel them.
Yeah.
I don't need to feel them.
So you don't feel them. Yeah, you don't need to feel them. So you don't feel them anymore.
Correct.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, I just don't need to feel them. You know? Yeah, that's the beautiful part of floating here is I don't need to feel them.
Okay, just making sure.
Bad.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, you can go ahead and float down inside the events, seeing through your own eyes as a little boy, and check on the emotions. Tell me, are they there or have they disappeared? Now.
The negative emotions.
Yes.
Have disappeared.
Awesome. Awesome. Now float back above the dinosaurs and then float into space to where space and the atmosphere connects. Let me know when you're there.
I'm there.
All right. Listen closely. Float very, very high above your timeline, above each and every event in which you felt the fear of judgment, from birth until now in chronological order. Don't skip one event that has a charge on it. Preserve the learnings and let go of that fear of judgment all the way back to now. Go. And as you preserve these learnings, the emotions are starting to dissipate more and more until they're all gone. Just let me know when they're all gone. That's right. That's right.
Feel appropriately scrubbed.
Awesome. You can float down into your body and open your eyes when you're ready.
Earth is wild. Earth is wild. Earth is wild, bro.
I was waiting to see what you were gonna say. It's like, shit, here it comes. You didn't disappoint. Hey, Kamau, before you say anything, I've never had somebody disrupt my whole process. I was like, can you feel the emotions or have they disappeared? You were like, oh, I can feel them. They're right here with me. I'm like what? It's like, no, you're not supposed to have them anymore. You know? Oh man.
The thing is, my man, at that moment,
yeah,
it was the ability to float with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In the moment, it was the ability to float with them, to know that they're with us, like they're with us. Yes, they are with us.
Yeah.
but to be able to float with them, to understand that we can be okay in this life regardless of external vibrations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we can float when we have an understanding that it's all an experience. It's just this is all an experience.
Yeah. And it's all energy too.
And it's all energy.
It's all energy. And I knew what you meant metaphorically.
Yeah.
But as far as the
yeah.
process, I was
I
like,
understand.
wait a second. Are they there? Are they gone? Or are they you're
I
like
told you I'm a maverick. Okay.
hey, how you feeling, brother?
Look, Earth is wild. Earth is wild. Like we get to do this, right?
Yeah,
I got this little rectangle here. We had a conversation over the rectangle.
uh-huh,
We're here doing this thing now
uh-huh.
on another rectangle. And meanwhile, these just organic bodies go through so much. Like these inert things, these laptop, like these everything is energy.
Yeah.
Right? They had to come together to be here.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got this ability to move through this world and through this space that's unique to every other being on this planet. Every other being, the amount that we can hold with us
boy
is unbelievable, and learning to walk with that.
Walk, navigate.
So yes, and in every way. I mean, yes, and in every way, learning to walk with it is what begins to take away the sting of living, right? That we're going to have these experiences and they're here for us. They're here for us.
Mm-hmm.
We're on this wild ass earth for these experiences and for each other.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have these experiences without each other.
Mm-hmm.
And if we were having the experience without each other, we'd probably be talking to God, right? So then what do we do from there? And that's how I feel. Like human beings should have the blessing of feeling all of their humanity all the time.
Yeah.
And being accepted.
Real talk. It's like we're not trained to accept ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, like we're trained not to accept ourselves. You know, we gotta fit in these boxes. So like that's the truest feeling. Like that, like accepting ourselves at the deepest level, kind of it lubricates that process of living our true, authentic selves. You know, it's really phenomenal.
And you feel that all throughout. You feel that throughout your whole energetic system.
Mm-hmm.
That release, that feeling of floating, you know, is attainable. It's attainable.
Mm-hmm.
It is truly that those layers of acceptance, just like now, to just melt them away and allow the things that we feel to actually reach us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to repel it.
No, we can accept it. We can welcome it. Not welcome it, but like hone it, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like hold it. So, like we are a fabric softener. Like we're a fabric softener. Like our experience, our experience is an experience of softening.
Yeah.
You know, our lives, like think about our grandparents, like holding their hands, like our experience is an experience of softening. Like macro, big timeline.
Yeah. Right.
To our little tiny blips is an experience of softening. And it's available to you before your physical body reaches its softness.
Right.
Because you started out that way. We started out that way, just all soft. Like you hold a baby.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know what soft was before this moment. Not knowing that we are just as soft.
Yes.
We are just as soft. You know,
yeah.
just as fresh out the womb in the big timeline.
Yeah, that's real.
So thank you for adding to my flotation tank.
Let's get down to it. You're welcome, by the way. Hey, that feeling in your belly, that was like a 5 or a 6. Go ahead and get that mind body connection again. How is that feeling in your belly?
Like a 1.
Yeah.
Like a 1, but like a pilot light.
Yeah.
If you ever seen a pilot light, it's just like this little like flickering flame that's just there. You need to turn it up to 500. Yeah, like a 1.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's awesome. How's the chatter?
Mm. Clear, clear. It's just ours.
Yeah.
Meaning like it's just us.
Yeah, you and me.
Just you and I.
Yeah. Isn't that neat?
You gotta really get comfortable with the echo.
There's a lot of room in there, huh?
You
That's that
gotta
space.
really get comfortable with the echo.
Yeah, yeah, that's real. Yeah. You're talking
Mm.
about nice, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah. Good stuff. Um, so you went ahead and cleared out everything with Keyline. How was that moment? How do you feel about that moment with the friends of the exes?
Mm. Again, floating up above it, right? You're seeing all of it, not knowing. I don't know anything. I
Yeah.
don't know anything. I don't know one word that any of them said to each other.
Hmm.
I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I know what my role was. I know that I was there. I know that I am incredibly, incredibly, incredibly grateful for the time with them and
Hmm.
incredibly sorry for the hurt that I caused,
Hmm.
that I know that I caused, and
Hmm.
that I don't know that I caused. I don't know anything about what was said,
Yeah.
right? So I can't. Why would I be writing that when I could be writing a novel?
100%. Real.
Yeah,
Real. Yeah. It's like what you think somebody thought. Exhausting.
exhausting. Exhausting. I could be writing a book. I could be writing a video game script. That could be, that is valuable imagination, and that's one of the byproducts of this experience and learning what you can do when you access your creativity, when you get it back to yourself,
Hmm. Hmm.
is knowing what you can do with that imagination.
Hmm. Not just yourself, but the God in you, if you will.
Yes.
The
Yep.
the part of you that is the essence of love. It's not. I mean, you know what I mean. Whatever you were doing to feel loved.
Correct.
Honestly,
Correct.
you know what I mean. So it's like getting back
Yes.
to that feeling of love for self,
Yeah.
and then like you spread that love with your creativity.
What you're talking about right there, man, is that big unfortunate equation. We're all trying to figure out what love is. We think we know what it is. We think we
Hmm.
know what it is, and I thought I knew what it was.
Hmm.
I thought I knew what it was. Just innocent. I don't
Hmm.
know. We see books. We see movies. We read about people's experience. We don't know what it is for ourselves.
Right. 100%. Yeah.
We're just calibrating. We're in an experience of calibration,
Hmm.
to kind of get an understanding of what love is. And then when you understand love is all that plus, then like you said, is given from that inheritance, that plenty,
Hmm.
because it's
Hmm.
everywhere. We're breathing it. It wouldn't
Yeah.
be here if it didn't love us. You know what I mean?
That's
This air would not be here if it didn't want us to love
yeah. It's real though. How's that
it.
moment where you brought a woman home that wasn't your race?
I mean, that was a whole experience unto itself. Neither of us knew what we were doing. I'm saying? Like neither of us, she or I, we didn't know what we were doing,
Yeah.
truly. And my family, like circumstance to circumstance, right?
Yeah.
It's been tough. It's been hard. It's been
Mm,
hard on people of color in this country. I don't know why we try to deny it. I don't know why we try to deny it in any way that is hard on people of color in this country. And that can leave some really deep scars.
yeah.
The foolishness of going around trying to deny the hurt that people feel. The reality of people's experiences is it's a very foolhardy effort because it's working so hard against ourselves,
Yeah.
our own emotional state. And so I understand being different. You know what I mean? I
Hmm.
understand being different. I understand
Hmm.
bringing something entirely different into that home and
Hmm.
how that can feel for everybody in that situation.
Yeah.
And I feel great about it because
Mm.
I learned so much from that experience.
Talk about being an alien.
Boy, I learned so much from that experience.
Yeah.
Holy. So that was an incredible teacher, and everybody involved was an incredible teacher
Yeah.
in that experience for sure.
Hmm. Did you forgive yourself from some of the financial moves that you made?
Look where I am.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm sitting here talking to you. I'm
Yeah.
sitting here talking to you. I got this great opportunity. I've got, I'm at the beginning of
Yeah.
starting a school that I know can, transform and uplift creative education in the country and in the world. Like, I know that. All those moves were to get me here. All those moves were to get me here so I can do what I'm going to do for everybody that I'm going to have an opportunity to work with. And for you, the same. It just is, it's so powerful to be in these positions of understanding how to spread love, and to help people get a deeper connection with loving themselves.
Yeah.
It's an intense responsibility, but a really beautiful experience.
Man, I love the feeling of peace after you release.
Peace, harmony.
Yeah.
Like real interconnectivity with the bigger picture, real place, like having a real place here.
Yeah.
Having a real place here. And that's, that is getting into that body, getting into the alien body, and really embracing that inner alien, and knowing that, like, we're okay.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yes.
We're here.
Yes.
We're worthy of this.
Yes.
We're worthy of this. Yeah. All of it. No matter what, we're worthy of this. It is here for us. We are here for each other. Greatest gift, man. Greatest gift.
Do you see, like, where you can go now? Like, now that this has been cleared up and released?
Well, all the things that I've shared, a lot of the things I've shared, and most of the things I've shared on this particular show, in this particular session, are things I have not said publicly.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
This is going out in the world. I've said these to my friends. I've said these, things. I've danced around, my behavior.
Right.
I was never specific.
Yeah.
Right. I was never specific because, not the right environment, but because I was holding back. What am I holding back for?
Right.
Right. What am I holding back for? And I know that what I'm sharing is going to help somebody.
Yes.
I know it's going to help somebody see themselves more clearly. I know it's going to help somebody feel the things that they need to feel. I know it's going to help somebody tune into their intuition, and like that thing that they're feeling is going to tap them. I know that. That's a gift. You know what I mean? It's a gift. And so sharing that gift and knowing that I can be released from, unless this recording.
What?
Unless this recording doesn't make it to the world.
Oh, no.
I needed to release have been released here. Right. Yeah. This is what we came here for. The things I needed to release have been released here.
Wow.
In a way that is contextualized in truth.
Yes.
In truth. And that's an opening. That's an opening that I think I've been looking for in my own life, is just to run through that tunnel of truth and come out on the other side, being a whole, truthful person, loving the world, loving creativity as I do.
That is gorgeous stuff. Like, what a light you are, and I'm just excited to see it shine even brighter, dog. Like, because with you letting those go, and also the sharing your story part, you talked about, like, there's a apprehension or resistance to sharing the story, but you did it so beautifully and masterfully here, and now without that fear of judgment. Yo, that's the fabric softener right there. That's right there. Is that now it's like off to the races. The brand just builds off of that now. Yes. Amazing.
Yes,
amazing.
Yes,
Let's go. Hey, Kamau, I from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for coming on to the show, man. Thank you so much, man.
I appreciate you deeply for what you do.
Yeah. Oh man, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. And hey, thank you all out there for tuning in and giving us your attention. And I just appreciate you as well. From, like, with all I got, I love y'all. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, hit that like button. Share this with somebody. Share this with somebody who needs to know that they're okay just the way that they are. That adventure that they're having right now, every step of the way is meant to be, and they can accept themselves. Like, share this with somebody, yo. And if you're on a podcast platform, give a brother 5 stars, yo.
5 stars.
Hey, thealienschool.com, right?
Correct. Spelled as you spell it. Thealienschool.com.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Check him out. Kamau Akabueze. You'll see it all over this podcast. Check the man out. He's a master. Just he allowed me to be creative as I wanted to be in this moment too. Yeah, he's awesome. Hey y'all, please. Hey, if y'all need something, come to me. I definitely am here to help. Take care of yourselves out there. Take care of one another. Peace.